Wildlife Protection Act. What is it? Wildlife Protection Act 1972 was enacted by the Government of India to safeguard wild animals, birds, and plants with an aim to ensure the ecological and environmental strength of India. Wildlife Protection Act in India has detailedly described about the restriction of hunting on safeguard animal species. Earlier, Jammu and Kashmir was not included in this Protection Act, but later on its amendments, Jammu and Kashmir is now being included in this Protection Act. Wildlife Protection Act was enacted in 1972. It is divided into 6 schedules based on the protected animals, plants, and vermin species. The list of animals and plants is based on the degree of its protection. Recently, Wildlife Protection Act was amended in 2021-22 to increase the species covered. What are the things that leads to the formation of Wildlife Protection Act? In India, after independence, the rapid increase in automobile industry has drastically declined the Indian's wildlife population. Indian government has given farmers guns to shoot those wild animals that cause damage on their agriculture fields. As a result of this, cheetah became extinct in 1951. There were 5 national parks in India before the inaction of Wildlife Protection Act 1972, but still there is a legal need for the protection of India's flora and fauna.
Salient features of wildlife protection. This act provides for a protection of a listed species of animals, plants, birds, and also for the establishment of network of ecologically important protected areas in the country. And this act provided for the formation of wildlife advisory boards, wildlife wardens, specifies their powers and duty, etc. It helped India become a party to the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. For the first time, a comprehensive list of the endangered wildlife of the country was prepared, and the act prohibited the hunting of endangered species. The scheduled animals are prohibited from being traded as per the Act provisions. The Act provides for license for the sale, transfer, and possession of some wildlife species. Then it provides for the establishment of wildlife sanctuaries, national park, etc.
Wildlife Protection Act 1972 are protecting habitats. There are 5 protecting areas under the Wildlife Protection Act. 1. Sanctuaries, national park, conservation reservoirs, community reservoirs, and tiger reservoirs. Under Wildlife Protection Act, the government can declare protecting habitats such as national park and sanctuaries. Constitutional provision of Wildlife Protection Act 1972. The Indian government has included aspects of the Indian wildlife protection in the Indian Constitution. The laws are Forest and Protection of Wildlife Act includes animals and birds was shifted from states to concurrent list by the 42 Amendment Act 1976. The Article 48 of the DPSP was also added by the Amendment 42nd Amendment Act, which directs the states to improve and protect the environment and self-guide wildlife and forest. Under the fundamental duties, Article 51A imposes a duty on the citizens to protect and improve the natural environment.
Bodies established through Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Central Zoo Authority. It recognizes and de-recognizes zoos in India, evaluates the functioning of zoos in India, and mandates basic standards for animals in zoo. National Tiger Conservation Authority. It is mandated to strengthen tiger conservation in India by assessing various conservation programs and providing recommendations to government. Wildlife Crime Control Bureau. It is tasked with the collection of intelligence related to organized wildlife crimes and advice to government on issues related to wildlife crime. National Bureau for Wildlife. It is the apex body for all wildlife related matters in India. It is tasked with framing policies and also advising the government on means of promoting wildlife conservation in India. It also prepares and publishes a status report once in at least 2 years on wildlife in our country.
Now we are going to discuss about the different type of schedule. In Schedule 1, they covers the endangered species, and according to the species they provide high degree of protection. Species under these schedules are prohibited by hunting throughout India. Example, clouded leopard, great hornbills, Indian cheetah and Indian lion. In Schedule 2, they are also prohibited by hunting. The trade of the species are also prohibited. Example, dolphin, bison, leopards and flying squirrels. In Schedule 3 and Schedule 4, they are not the endangered species, but the penalty for any violation is less than that of the first two schedules. And the hunting is prohibited. Example, Himalayan bats, hyena, flying foxes and barbets, etc. In Schedule 5, they are vermean species. The hunting can be done. Example, common fox, mice and bats. In Schedule 6, they included the forbidden plants for cultivations. Example, slipper orchids and pitcher plants and blue and red vanda.